Welcome. My name is Chelsea Scudder. I am the intern for the Institute of Interfaith Dialogue and the Turkish Raindrop House this summer. So I have 1 week here before I head back to Boston to finish up a master's in comparative theology. And Orhan was kind enough to give me the opportunity to work here this summer to help plan this event, which has been a really incredible experience. So I thank you all for coming. So welcome to the Institute of Interfaith Dialogue's annual Dinner of Abrahamic Traditions event. This year, as you know, we'll be discussing fasting in the Abrahamic faiths. And we're very fortunate to be joined tonight by Rabbi Abby Jacobson, Imam Dr. Imad Inchazi, and Reverend Dr. William Taberny. So I'm going to introduce Orhan Osman, the Executive Director of the Institute of Interfaith Dialogue, who will share with you some more about the organization and tonight's program.
Dear friends, thank you for coming. And I want to start with a joke. By the way, I'm really bad at joke telling. I know I have some friends over here to travel with me to Turkey, about 10 days, and I try to tell jokes. You know, I like these Oklahomans. You know, seriously. They're such a nice people that they don't even understand the jokes that I'm telling, but they're laughing just to make me happy. So, you know, I'm thirsty, I'm hungry, it's Ramadan, I believe you're going to make me happy too. So there is I don't know if you are familiar with, in Turkey, there's a part of Turkey called the Black Sea region. It's a lot of jokes, they tell about a lot of jokes in the people of the Black Sea region, and they're a tough guy, and they brain. They say that they brain the people from the other part of Turkey. They say they brain, the Black Sea people's brain stop at noon. We Black Sea people say that we have two brains and one stop and the other still walking like you guys do. But this was not the joke, so this is me. And there's a Black Sea guy has a store, like a fruit store, that's selling the olives and the cheese and stuff like that. And the business is so slow, and no one even stopped by his store. And finally, he saw a lady is just passing by by his store. And then he asked the lady, "Oh, lady, come on and let me. Why don't you buy the olive? I have a wonderful, tasteful olives, just like a Turkish way." Let's stop the person on the road. And the lady said, "No, I can't because I left my purse at home, so I cannot buy anything. I don't have any money." He said, "Oh, don't worry about that. I mean, you can pay me later. I know you." And so just like why don't you buy some olives? So the lady's kind of like looked at his eyes. It's kind of like it looks hesitant. And then finally, the guy offered her an olive to taste for. And she said, "No, I can't eat that." So he said, "Why you cannot eat it?" "Because I'm fasting." He said, "Ramadan was 6 months ago. Why you're fasting?" You know, I missed a day during the Ramadan 6 months ago, so I'm making that up. I'm paying back. But that olives looks nice. Why don't you give me 2 pounds of that? And the guy said, "Forget about it. It took 6 months for you to pay back to God. Who knows when you're going to pay back?" So, breaking fast together with not only Jews, Christians, Muslims, but also Buddhists, Sikhs, Hindu, and all traditions who may not attach the name of Abraham, but are on their own way to God is a wonderful deal. Fasting establishes a continuity of practice with religions such as Judaism and Christianity, in which fasting is recognized as an important element. During fasting, not only the stomach, but also tongue, eyes, ears, other limbs, and the heart and mind are equally obligated to be restrained. Just as we control our physical appetites, we also must control our negative emotions and actions. The messenger of Islam, Muhammad, peace be upon him, expressed that fasting is not only to restrain from food and drink. Fasting is to refrain from obscene acts. And he added that if someone verbally abuses you, acts ignorantly towards you, or even hurts you, you respond to them saying only, "I am fasting, indeed I am fasting." As we see from the above prophetic narration, like many other religious practice, is meant to establish inner, individual, and outer collective peace and prosperity within society. We believe that any conflict between the members of the religions and communities is due to misunderstanding or exploitation or other purposes, and we should beware of those who use religion to divide. Abrahamic faiths have many common aspects and few differences. When there are hundreds of common bridges between us, it is mistaken to stress a few differences, although it's not bad to talk about the differences. When people really understand such things, Abrahamic religions and other disciplines will contribute positively to relations between communities and countries. Ladies and gentlemen, the world today needs peace more than at any time in the history. To avoid clashes among communities and establish peace, the true believers should come together among the common values and references while acknowledging the variety of belief and practice. For this reason, we Muslims, like the people here at IID, Institute of Interfaith Dialogue, give priority to love, compassion, dialogue, respect for others' rights, human rights, positive action, and non-coercive, non-violent methods and means. Being loyal to a particular faith and its essence does not prevent its members from understanding contemporary values. By coming together here at one table, we prove that this is a situation of great richness with remarkable opportunities for mutual understanding and for creating a society rooted in common values. We give the society the idea that people can live together, regardless of group, faith, or ideology. As Mr. Fethullah Gülen, whom we Turkish Muslims are greatly encouraged and inspired by, said, quote, we have a great deal to learn from one another. We as the IID organize different events and activities such as interfaith dinners, luncheons, lecture series, conferences, symposia, trips, to bring people together from different faiths and cultural backgrounds to learn from one another. We are the enemy of what we do not know. Once we know each other, it's easy to talk about the differences and be more open to learning from one another. I believe AIDS or cancer is not the most dangerous health problem of humanity. Prejudice is the most dangerous and more lethal health problem, and the only cure for that is coming together with our differences. I gave a quote about the Mr. Gülen, and with your permission, I don't want to spend much of your time. I would like to describe who the Mr. Gülen is. Talking about the Mr. Fethullah Gülen, whom we inspired by all, it takes another lecture. But when I describe Mr. Fethullah Gülen to my friends in the West, I ask them to take activism and advocacy of Martin Luther King, and take the educational focus of Maria Montessori and the nonviolent stance of Gandhi and mix them all together in one person. That is the closest short description of Gülen I can come up with. Like many Moors and Sheikhs coming from a faith background, Mr. Gülen attracts support and praise from the majority of citizens of his homeland Turkey. But he also remains a controversial figure for some of them. This is very interesting. For radical Islamists, Mr. Fethullah Gülen is too soft on Christians and Jews. And he was even called the secret cardinal of Rome in Turkey. Why? Because he initiated the interfaith dialogue back in 1990s in Turkey. And if you know the environment in Turkey, although during the Ottoman state the minorities has a lot of rights, but after the Turkish Republic there's a long history. I gave a lecture at the Democratic Party luncheon. So the minorities lost the many privileges. So the ministers and the rabbis did not really feel comfortable to step out, walk on the street with their own costumes and everything. So think about the environment. And Mr. Fethullah Gülen initiated the interfaith dialogue and invite those around the table to talk about the commonalities and common problems of the world, and to make it as a religious leaders contribute to the community, to the world, to make the world a better place. So that's why, and he was called, and also like during that time he also met with the Pope, John the Pope II. So he was called the secret cardinal of Rome in Turkey by the radical Islamists. On the other side, for the neo-nationalist, he is a threat to the secular nature of Turkish Republic and has an agenda to steer the country toward an Islamic theocracy. It's like totally two different approach. So we had the former Secretary of State, James Baker, at the luncheon in Houston back in 2008. He commented that if a man is drawing the anger of such opposite extremes simultaneously, then he must be doing something right. So, again, as I said, talking about Gülen requires another lecture, yet we don't have much time, but I urge you to Google Mr. Fethullah Gülen, G-U-L-E-N, the last names. You're gonna, you will get a lot of articles and comments and negatives and positives, and you read both sides, and you come up with your own conclusion. And of course, we are always available here to answer any question you have. Okay, as I said, I don't want to use much of your time, and we have wonderful panelists this evening. I would like to give special thanks to Rabbi Abby Jacobson and Dr. Milta Bellini and Dr. Random Imad Enchasi. You know, I don't know if you, those who doesn't know Dr. Imad Enchasi, his nickname is the Mr. Random because he's randomly checked at the airport all the time. So, yeah, TSA, the staff knows him very much. Like, you know, all the time. Like they even offer him the Turkish coffee while checking him. You know, I'd like to thank special thanks to the panelists, not only for presence here and talk about the fasting in their own tradition, but also their leadership and the contribution to the community. They are the role models. I mean, we all look at the religious leaders, and they inspire us, you know, to come together and and learn from one another. And also, we have another special guest tonight with us, and our new rabbi, Rabbi Harris, and she's been new at the community, but although she's been new, I believe she started in July, but she's very active in the interfaith community. She'll already get in touch with us, like in telling us that like she want to be very active in the interfaith community. We'd love to. I mean, we're honored to have such a rabbi that like you will see like Rabbi Abby, Rabbi Harris, and Imad, and all other the ministers and the priests, and will be working numerous projects in the near future. And congratulations on your new position, Ms. Harris. Another special thanks, and the most important special thanks, goes to where's Seda? She said she disappeared. Okay, bye. Okay. Okay, let me talk about Seda. As you see, she has a camera. She's our outreach director of the Raindrop Turkish House, and she's also chef. Okay, and so she really deserves a special thanks just because she moved to her home yesterday. But I said, you know, she said that she want to take care of the food today. I said, you know, that's too much job, and you know, I'll cater to food. Don't worry about that. And so she said, no, I want to do that. This is very important. My Christians and Jews, brothers and sisters are coming, so I have to be part of this, and I have to cook the food. So she's been cooking really all day. So would you give a round of applause? Okay, before I leave the podium, then I want to do one more announcement. One more. I didn't have any other announcement. So, you know, when I get the mic, Dr. Enchasi, I mean, I'm not the imam, I'm not the preacher, but I don't know, some kind of disease. So I believe you don't. I mean, you don't have the same disease, right? That our preachers and priests, you know, don't. Yeah, okay. Anyway, the True Cause Councils Americans and Relations and the Raindrop Turkish House, its members organization, is putting a very large, very big the festival together in Houston, Texas. The festival called the Silk Road Festival. And all of the Silk Road countries like Turkey, Azerbaijan, Turkmenistan, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, whatever is the stan at the end of those names, will be represented at the festival. When I say it's a big festival, I really mean it. I mean, they are expecting more than 100,000 people. And this is just one time only deal. And, you know, like you may not have a chance to go visit all those countries in your life, but this is a wonderful opportunity for you all if you can fit in your schedule. October 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th, but the 6th and 7th will be the highest crowd because of the weekend. So I urge you to seriously think about it and drive all the way to Houston, it's really worth it. If it's not worth it, come to find me and I'll pay your gas. I know you're not going to do that. Okay, thank you again for your presence, and I'm hoping that you enjoy the rest of your time. I'm hoping that you will enjoy what our panelists will share with us. I don't know about you guys, but for sure I will enjoy food and drinking in an hour. So thank you.
I will invite our panelists up to the podium. So tonight we have asked our panelists to discuss what fasting means in their respective traditions, not only as practitioners of their faith, but as leaders in their religious communities. I'm going to give a little bit more of an introduction for each of them, and then we'll get started. I'll start with Rabbi Abby Jacobson. Rabbi Jacobson has been the rabbi of Emmanuel Synagogue in Oklahoma City since 2009. She grew up attending a conservative synagogue in rural Florida, an experience which left her with a passion for serving small Jewish communities. Rabbi Jacobson received a degree in international affairs from George Washington University and later attended the conservative yeshiva in Jerusalem. And she was ordained by the Jewish Theological Seminary in 2009. The Reverend Dr. William Taberny is the executive director of the Oklahoma Conference of Churches. Previously, he was the president of Phillips Theological Seminary in Tulsa and served as the Stephen J. England Distinguished Professor of the History of Christianity. Dr. Taberny is an ordained Christian minister in the Disciples of Christ tradition. He served for more than 20 years as a member of the World Council of Churches Commission on Faith and Order. He has served on the board of the Oklahoma Center for Community and Justice and the Tulsa Metropolitan Ministry. And Dr. Taberny is also the co-director of an archaeological program which is involved in excavating 2 ancient cities in Turkey, both of which he discovered. And Imam Dr. Imad Anshazi is the founder, imam, and president of the Islamic Society of Greater Oklahoma City. He is the founder and executive director of the Mercy Education Foundation, which created the first accredited Islamic school in Oklahoma City. He holds degrees in business management from South Plains College and Southern Nazarene University and a master's in management from the University of Phoenix. He later studied at the Dawa University Institute and received his bachelor's, master's, and